Hello everyone, JRDL96 here with a brand new video, and as you can tell it's another story time video. Now it seems everybody enjoyed the very first story I told, which was how I met Jacksepticeye, and I teased that I wanted to tell this story next, so here I am. And the story I'm going to be telling you today is a childhood memory of how the Undertaker used to scare me as a kid. If you don't know who I'm talking about the pro wrestler well known from the WWE and now a Hall of Famer, the Undertaker, who's supposed to be this undead mythical being. Yeah, wrestling is wild. And that character lasted for over 30 years, which is insane. He never broke character. Very weird. You know, most wrestlers don't do that these days. But he was one of those rare people that didn't break character or break kayfabe. Pretty interesting. So let me give you some background on this story. This took place around December of 2005. I was around 9 years old at this time. And I just became a fan of professional wrestling. And one of the big highlights of WWE at that time, mostly on SmackDown, was the feud between The Undertaker and Randy Orton. And they were going to have their final encounter inside a Hell in a Cell. So leading up to that match, The Undertaker started playing these scary mind games on Randy Orton. Like, for example, Randy Orton's in the bathroom washing his face, and then he looks up at the mirror and The Undertaker's in the reflection of the mirror. He turns around, nobody is there. Like creepy stuff like that. Or, you know, when Randy Orton looks away from his dad for a second and looks back, his father is completely covered in blood. And then he, blinks, and then he looks back at his father, and his father's fine. So honestly, a lot of eerie shit going on. Now, the main point of this whole story is how The Undertaker used to scare me. He did. He actually did. And I know for sure I'm not the only one that can say that. I know there's a lot of other wrestling fans growing up who started watching wrestling when they were young, and they see someone like The Undertaker come out and they're like petrified. Watch his debut. When he debuted at Survivor Series in 1990, you'll see the first few rows of kids in the crowd. They're petrified. They're scared shitless, and that's not a shoot. That is legit. They had legit fear in their eyes, even some adults too. They're like, who the hell is this person? That kind of thing. But what scared me the most about him was the one thing he always did. Rolling his eyes in the back of his head like this. Whenever he did that, that always scared me. Not necessarily him doing the eye roll, but there's this one particular, old school shot of him from back in the 90s that the WWE loved to use in their, production, videos and stuff, promo packages and stuff like that. And that is a particular shot, I believe it was from the 90s. I don't know when it was, but it was old school Taker. And it was the ending of a show, and he does the, the hair flip and the eye roll, and the lighting was perfect. It felt like legit lightning. And the way he looked was so eerie and creepy that they decided to take that shot and then add a visual effect to it where his eyes and mouth glow. So going back to the Randy Orton Undertaker feud during the Mind Games, Randy Orton is begging the Undertaker to come out. And the Undertaker just dims the lights. And then this promo package plays about, Hell in a Cell, and, showcases the other Hell in a Cell matches that have happened over the years in the WWE. And there's this one particular shot that petrified me so much as a kid. I swear to God, looking back at it now, I laugh my ass off. Because I feel like that shot. But, I don't know, man. The one shot that scared me was this. That shot right there scared me a lot as a kid. that scared me so much. Like, oh my god, that was the shot that actually, triggered my fear of The Undertaker. That was the shot that really scared me. So now it's the night of the pay-per-view Armageddon. The pay-per-view where this Hell in a Cell match would take place. This is my first ever WWE pay-per-view, and the first ever Hell in a Cell match that I have ever seen. And to this day, it's my favorite of all time. My favorite Hell in a Cell match of all time. Why? It had everything. A lot of bloodshed, a lot of, crazy spots, chair shots, use of steel steps, steel chains, a table, and a lot of crazy, false finishes and a lot of drama to it. So, it had it all. And in the end, The Undertaker would beat Randy Orton in the Hell in a Cell match, and the pay-per-view would end with him on top of the cell with his urn all bloody. Doing all that, shenanigans on top of the cell. So, after the show ended, after the pay-per-view ended, it was time for me to go to bed. Problem was, I could not fall asleep. I was so scared of The Undertaker that night, because they showed that shot again during the promo package to hype up the Hell in a Cell match that night. I was so scared that The Undertaker was going to kill me in my sleep. I was so petrified of The Undertaker. I woke up like after sleeping for like an hour and was so petrified that I screamed so loud that my mom came in and was like, The Undertaker's not gonna kill you. Go to sleep. Love you, Mom. That didn't help. So the only way I can combat this fear of not dying in my sleep at the hands of this dead man, the Phenom, known as The Undertaker, I decided to leave my television on, which was a no-no in my house at the time, but I decided to say, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna do it. I don't care if I get in trouble. So that's what I did. I slept with my TV on, and I slept peacefully. I slept fine. I don't think I had school the next day, because it was around Christmas time. I think it was the 19th, so it was literally a few days away. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember when this was, like, or if school was going on at that time or not. I know I was in 4th grade, but I don't know if school was going on at the time. Like, if school was still happening at the time, or was this before, Christmas break would officially start. I honestly don't remember. It's so long ago. Overall, looking back at that is so funny to me, because the fact that I was so scared of The Undertaker to the point where I couldn't sleep, and what finally, helped me was to leave my television on that night just to really help me. So eventually, after almost 3 years, I would eventually get over my fear of The Undertaker. And I started to realize he was just a guy playing a character. But overall, I believe that's really it on that story. I know it was a pretty short story, but that's all I remember from that. But looking back at it, it's a funny memory. Let me talk about one more thing, and that is the influence that The Undertaker has had on my life. It's so funny, The Undertaker has made such a huge impact on my life that when Markiplier released A Date with Markiplier back in February of 2017, and when I first saw Darkiplier in one of the endings, Darkiplier reminded me of The Undertaker for some reason. I do not know why. They're clearly not similar to one another. I do not know why, but even though clearly they're two completely different beings and entities on their own, that's what Darkiplier reminded me of. He reminded me of The Undertaker. So I guess it was just the eyeliner or the war mask, that Mark wore for the character. Because I know The Undertaker wears, eyeliner underneath his eyes for The Undertaker. But also, The Undertaker's had a huge impact on me creatively. The Xander character not only was inspired by Darkiplier, since I given him the nickname Darkiplier Light. But what also inspired Xander was the Undertaker, of course. Well, lately, with some of the stuff that I've done with Xander lately, the Undertaker, has had a huge, influence. Especially with the gong and, certain quotes like "Creature of the Night," "Rest in peace," "I am a demon that will lead you into eternal damnation." Some stuff like quotes like that obviously was from the Undertaker stuff. So that's where, the inspiration came from the Undertaker. So that's where I got inspiration for the Xander character. Undertaker, I know you're not going to see this. I am very grateful of experiencing the last 15 years of your wrestling career, and I'm very grateful for the funny childhood memories I had involving you, and how you almost killed me in my sleep, and how you almost drove me nuts because of your character, and how that character had such a huge impact on my life. You scared me for years. I really appreciate it, Undertaker. Mark Calloway. Thank you for all the wonderful memories. Thank you for all the funny memories of mine. Thank you for everything, Taker. And congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction. You fucking deserve that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's story time. Not as long as the first story, but hey, I felt like sharing this one as well, and hopefully it's pretty, organized and not all over the place. So let me know if you want to see more stories in the comments down below. So if you like what you saw here, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Be sure to ring that bell to be part of the notification squad. Be sure to check out my Instagram because I make collabs with Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, even myself. I also reenactments and cosplays on there, so go check it out. And be sure to check out my Tumblr and my Discord in the description as well. So until next time, JRDeal96 signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Are you scared?